facing the police every single day.
Good afternoon. Please state your name and spell your last name.
Michelle Ann, M-I-L-L-E-R.
And what is your occupation?
I am self-employed. I'm opening a restaurant in Arcadia, Florida.
All right. And how long have you been self-employed doing those things?
I retired February.
All right.
From my job.
Oh, I see. And what did you retire from?
Do I have to answer that? That has nothing to do with the case. So.
These are just basic background questions.
Okay.
Are you going to answer that question?
No.
Okay. Where do you live?
I live at 2311 Benway Drive, Port Charlotte, Florida, 33948.
How long have you lived there?
We bought the house approximately a year and a half ago. We moved there February, full time.
And I'm sorry, a year and a half ago you said?
Yeah, we purchased the house.
All right. And is it, how many beds, how many baths?
It's 4-bedroom, 2.5 baths.
Okay. And is it a 1-story, 2-story?
1 story.
All right. And that's your only house, right? You don't live anywhere else?
Well, I've currently been staying at 15 West Oak Street.
I see. And why are you staying there?
Because I've been being harassed.
All right.
I've had my car keyed. I've had my tires slashed. I've had my screen broken into in my pool area.
And has anything happened to you on social networking?
Yes.
What's happened?
I don't get on Facebook often, but I get friend suggestions on my phone that says like friend suggestion, and this name keeps popping up, Wesley Beachy and a couple more. And they told me if the name pops up, that means they've been looking on your site. And he keeps posting things about me, and today he posted a picture, which is that's invasion of privacy.
Where did he post the picture?
I think Facebook.
Okay.
Where I got the photocopy from.
Was it posted on your profile?
No.
How did you know he posted it on Facebook?
Because it showed new things, and I just clicked on my phone, and it took me to his link.
So you're getting notifications of things he is posting?
No, just like friend suggestion notifications.
Is this Facebook we are discussing?
Yeah. It's,
okay.
I have one of those Androids, so it pops up whoever's been looking on your Facebook.
I see. Are you friends with Mr. Beachy?
No.
Do you two have mutual friends?
I don't think so.
All right. I've used Facebook since it was founded in 2004. I thought friend suggestions usually happened if there was even the slightest connection between you two. Now sometimes it's a stretch. Sometimes they go for like 2 degrees of separation. I've seen. So I don't know. That's why I asked. But to your knowledge, you're not related in any way to Mr. Wesley Beachy, right?
I'm not related. No, I'm not related to Wesley Beachy.
Okay, and you're not. Are you acquainted with him in any way?
I really haven't talked to him since all this occurred.
Okay. Before this occurred, did you talk to him at all?
No.
Okay.
I talked to the gentleman across the street, which has the same last name. I thought it was Wesley.
And that's Warren Beachy, right?
Correct.
All right. Now, he did some work on your house, right?
I've had several contractors do work on my house.
All right. So Warren Beachy was a contractor?
I didn't know his first name until...
Oh.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
just know last name Beachy because I wrote the check out.
Okay. But there was a contractor named Beachy who did some work on your house?
Correct. He did tile work in the bathroom.
I see. And roughly when did that work take place?
Oh, my God. I don't recall. I just know he was there for a while.
Okay.
He had a key to my house.
And you were only acquainted with that contractor as a contractor, somebody who does work, right?
No, I got referred to him by a neighbor that said he did good work.
Okay. How many times did he do work on your house?
He had access to my house. He had my key for over 3 months. After all this occurred, we got our key back.
All right. And I'll probably ask a similar question about keys in a moment. Forgive me if I jump around a bit.
I thought, in the beginning, I've never talked to Wesley Beachy, so.
Oh, okay. Yes, I could have. I didn't want to phrase it too broadly, but okay. So yeah, I mean, Wesley is my client, so you've never talked to him?
Not in person, no.
Okay.
I don't even know who Wesley Beachy is, except for,
this case.
Yeah.
Have you talked to him in any other way?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay.
But I would like to.
We'll get to that. Now you had some boxes in your house, right?
Yes. I had Home Depot, Allied, and Parkland boxes.
I see. And how many boxes total, roughly?
256 of them, and I have the paperwork for them.
I see. Why so many?
Well, we were moving from Hollywood, Florida, Dania Beach, Florida, to Port Charlotte, and I was busy with work, and my husband travels, so we would come down here, or up here, I should say, in the weekend to unpack, and we just never really unpacked. And the collection that was taken, those boxes, I had certain collections. The boxes with the 10 die-cast cars in it, they were for, I don't even know his last name, for Dom. That's who the clock belonged to, and I got his letters here. I was going to either sell them back to him, or I told him I would keep them for 5 years, and then after 5 years I would either sell them or give them to someone that collected it.
I see.
So I had like 3 years left on that verbal contract I made with him.
About the clock with Dom, you said?
He's the one that told me the major collection of NASCAR stuff.
Okay. Well, again, we will get to that. I'm just asking some basic questions to begin with. How long have you collected NASCAR memorabilia?
Not long at all. Dom was my first one, and then I decided I was going to open a bar, and I started collecting more.
What is Dom? What do you mean? I don't understand. You said
That's
Dom
his
is
name.
my first. Okay.
That's his name.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how again do you know Dom?
I found him. Someone referred me to him, and then he posted, and we kept contact via email, and let it go, or it was off or up, I don't recall. And he told me about his situation, why he was getting rid of all his NASCAR memorabilia, and he told me a price he wanted, and I told him I'm buying up stuff right now to open a bar and restaurant, which I'm in the process of doing now, minus the bar.
Okay.
And I thought it would be quaint for a small town like Arcadia with NASCAR stuff. And that was how I met Don, and he's a very nice guy. He offered to help me with my restaurants.
What is Don's last name?
I do not know. Cardi, C-A-R-D-I.
All right.
I just looked at his letter. I just called him Dominic or Don.
I see. Is his address there? Is there any contact information you can tell us?
He lives in Boca, and just his email address.
All right. The email address is on that document?
Correct.
All right. Has that document been provided to the state attorney yet? Or did you just bring that today?
I just brought all this today.
Okay. Well, I assume I'll be getting a copy of that. Other than the merchandise involved in this case, do you have other kinds of collectibles?
I do. I collect all kinds of stuff. My mom used to have an antique shop, hence why we moved to Port Charlotte to be closer to my dad since my mom died. I collect china dishware. I have Raggedy Ann dolls. All my collections are separately. I have every Ty Beanie Baby. Barbie collection is very extensive. I just don't collect one thing. I collect massive. So.
Okay. And other than the NASCAR memorabilia involved in this case, was there other NASCAR memorabilia that was untouched in this case?
No, I'm missing hoods. They took off with hoods. My jackets, my autographed jackets. I had mirrors that go actually up on bars that were purchased.
Mm-hmm.
They got legs and walked.
Okay. Oh, I think I asked, other than the merchandise, what was kept in the other boxes, but I guess that would have been furniture or other things.
Not
for
furniture.
Moving.
Furniture was not kept in the boxes. It was mostly the antique collectibles, and they were marked by numbers, and the glassware, the Fenton, stuff like that.
What's Fenton?
It's antique glass.
Okay. Were the boxes with the NASCAR merchandise kept in a special place?
They were, well, my water heater exploded. They were kept in the garage because in return I was either going to put them in my bar or return them to Dawn after 5 years because we filled up 3 carloads. It was so long ago, I just kept them in the box. I never opened them, went through each one, took pictures because I was really expecting to get them back to him.
Forgive me. I hate asking the same question twice, but so Don had an agreement with you to hold on to it for 5 years?
No, I had an agreement with Don, not he had an agreement with me. He gave me a story, which was heartbreaking. He told me he needed money to pay for his medical, and he cried over this NASCAR collection. I mean, it was very. He went to all the races and everything. He had autographed stuff. The jackets, like, that he gave me, the hats, all had autographs on it. He had posters and books with autographs on it. I mean, his collection was extensive. It was the most expensive NASCAR collection I purchased.
Okay.
Down south. And he really loved it. And when he was giving it to me, he was very emotional.
And purchased, so he sold them to you?
Yes.
All right. How much did he sell the merchandise to you?
I don't recall, and on the letter you will be getting, I guess, because I do not know. In his letter, he said the street value was over $3,000, and he said he sold it to me for $600. I don't recall what he sold it because I dealt with cash, and I bought a lot of stuff during that time frame, as you'll know in the other letters.
All right. And how long ago was that?
I have 3 years left, so about 2 years.
2 years ago, give or take?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry I don't recall the exact date. I bought so much stuff.
And it sounds like we may have the answer to this, but is there a receipt or record of that sale?
The letter he provided me with, because I told him I didn't recall how much he paid me. I had to ask him.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, I guess just to help us, if it's all right with you, and could we look at the letter now?
Sure.
All right.
You can look at, actually, this is one. He went with me to purchase merchandise on NASCAR stuff. This is the letter from Don Carty. He said if you needed any more, he would be happy to provide it. And he said he would be happy to provide an affidavit with a list of stuff.
Okay.
And he apologized for the pictures because he said when he posts pictures, he couldn't find them. So.
Okay. Who do you live in your house with?
My husband.
All right. And I see named Michelle LaCroix here. Is that you?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Michelle Ann LaCroix Miller.
Oh, I see.
Middle name.
Oh, all right. Okay, so for the record, I'm looking at the Gmail email. It says forward NASCAR cars. Okay. From the SEA 34. To whom it may concern, I sold all kinds of NASCAR cars and memorabilia. Street value $3,000. Sold to Michelle for $600. Thanks, Don Carty. And there's also a letter here from one Christopher Wallet. Provides an email address and a mailing address in Plantation, Florida. I'm just going to read it to myself since it'll be in Discovery anyways. I'll give the transcriptionist a bit of a break. All right, so how are you related to Christopher Wallet? Who is he?
He came with me to load the stuff. The stuff was too heavy for me to, so he was my partner in crime. Like, we would go buy stuff and.
Okay, just the accompanying during the purchases. Okay.
The stuff was too big. Like I told you, I bought NASCAR hoods, socks, mirrors, and that was, for what goes good in Arcadia. What does everyone love in Arcadia?
All right.
I wasn't expecting, the downfall. I didn't realize how many people like NASCAR. I know nothing about NASCAR at all whatsoever.
I see.
So I couldn't tell you who's who, or I could just tell you,
Why do you collect NASCAR? Other than Dom's obligation, was that the only reason?
No. I was
feeling bad about him and.
No, Arcadia, they're known for NASCAR and rodeo, and I was purchasing the stuff because I'm opening a restaurant and bar in Arcadia to put the stuff up. Arcadia is known for like farm animals, and everyone in Arcadia loves NASCAR. The first time I went down there, I went to an antique shop.
I see.
And they're selling all this NASCAR crap, and I didn't.
Okay. So yeah, you.
Sorry.
No, it's all right.
I just did the same thing, so I was like,
All right. So Dom needs some money for medical supplies. You needed to help with maybe decorating your restaurant.
Yeah, we were shopping. Me and Chris Wallet, we bought tons of neon beer light signs, which I had a crap load of those too, going through the stuff, and they got legs and walks too in that process. I probably, out of the 50 or 60 I purchased, I probably have 10 or 11. So.
So when did you find out that the boxes of the NASCAR merchandise were missing?
Well, we just, and this is me and my husband, we were going around the house, like, also I have a large collection of special alcohol beverages, like specialty bottles of tequilas and stuff. Stuff was just missing. And I'm like, where is it? Where is it? And he's like, oh, you'll find it, you'll find it. And my water heater, the last time I seen these boxes, Power-Upland boxes and the Home Depot boxes, was when my water heater flooded. And we had to replace the water heater. And that's when we had to open up the boxes to make sure nothing was damaged. That's how the blue tape ended up on it, the third layer of blue tape. And this is Brian Griffin, is the one that helped us move the boxes and put the blue tape on it, which I have a letter, because it was so many boxes, the whole wall. If you look at my garage, the inside of my garage, it was covered from head to toe, and it had 2 rows of boxes.
And you've mentioned a couple times now about the blue tape and the water stains. Why are you telling us about that now? Because
my boxes are very, you could tell they're my boxes. I was having tile cut in the garage. My water heater, the bottom of the floor was wet. The boxes were damaged on the bottom, and I was scared the stuff got damaged. And the light brown tape, and then it was from Allied. The second brown tape when we moved it in was from me and my husband, and the third was when we had to open up the boxes, but we didn't take the stuff out just to make sure the stuff wasn't damaged and that it was still there.
Right.
We put to retape it because that's all I had was the blue tape.
All right. And do you have a record of, or an invoice or any kind about the water heater breaking?
I can get one. BK Plumbing is the one that provided me with the brand new water heater.
And roughly how long ago did the water heater break?
Just after we purchased the house. I don't want to, April, May, I don't recall. I can't give you an exact date. I mean, I have other things going on, so that, we just fixed the stuff, and someone helped us move it to the back room of the house. And I don't go on one side of the house. I actually still have a room, which I showed the officers. It's full of collectible storage stuff. And I just went through that recently to find pictures. I have SD cards that had pictures and stuff. I found pictures of the hood, mirrors, lighting, my pictures in my game room. But I didn't take a lot of pictures because, like I said, I didn't open those boxes. I just knew I had the boxes in the garage.
I see. Oh, yes, I was going to ask about that. During the months they were in your garage then, did you go through the boxes at all?
No. We just opened them up and to see if any of the tops or bottoms were damaged when they were in my garage.
All right.
To make sure they were okay.
Now, you've been trying to set up this restaurant in Arcadia for a little while now, right?
Yeah, I've been working on this business plan for 11 years.
Okay. And how close were you to finishing that up in August of last year?
We were in negotiation with we were trying to purchase the old Opera House in Arcadia, and that fell through due to molding, or mold, I should say. And we just acquired a building in downtown. It was built in 1906.
All right.
Which we've been revamping nonstop.
And, I should have asked before. So you live with your husband. Do you have any children?
No. Well, I have a stepdaughter. She's 18.
I see. Does she live in the house too?
No.
Okay. Does anyone else live in the house with you?
No.
Okay. And what does your husband do?
He works for a CD Global.
Okay. That's a familiar name. What kind of business is CD Global?
He's a utilization manager.
Oh, okay.
We don't discuss business in our household.
Well, it's less stress that way. Now I'm jumping ahead a little bit. After the incident, did you get the boxes back?
I did receive 2 of the Paul Arplin boxes. We did take stuff out of it. We left them at the sheriff's office. I think we have a total of 3 or 4 boxes. They're in the same place where we dropped them off in our garage where they've been sitting.
I see.
I didn't take everything that was in the sheriff's office because some of the stuff was not mine. Like I didn't have, and I contacted Chris Wallet, and I didn't have semi-trucks. So.
Can you describe what wasn't yours when you saw it?
There were some magazines, some books that I couldn't recall. There was some semis with, I don't even know. I just didn't recollect me having that one. You open the box and you could see, perfect boxes aligned, or when you open a box and you throw matchbox cards in, you know what's in that. And Dom, when he gave me his boxes, they were perfectly organized. Like, you didn't even have to worry about what was in the boxes. That's why we just opened it up and retaped it. They were so perfect in the box. And then when we got to the sheriff's office, it looked like my boxes with my tile dust on the bottom, wet, damaged from the floor. And who puts 3 layers of tape in unless you move once and then you go into the garage and you move again, and then your water heater breaks, and then just to make sure you open it back up and all you have is blue tape. I mean, come on. It doesn't happen. Or does it? I don't know. I mean, that's a big coincidence for a moving company to, but anyway.
You mentioned the companies for the boxes, Home Depot, Allied, and
Arplin.
All right. How's Arplin spelled?
It's ARPLIN.
I see. All right. And did you buy the boxes from those places? How did you get the boxes themselves?
Home Depot and Paul Arplin came from Dom. His friend, I asked him about the Paul Arplin place, and he said the Paul Arplin boxes came from the friend that he was storing them in his storage. I really wasn't listening to him, so.
All right. How about the Allied boxes?
The Allied box, that was my moving company, which they also packed the Home Depot boxes and the Paul Arplin boxes, and they put numbers on them.
All right. Oh, so some of the moving company did put some of the NASCAR merchandise into the Allied boxes, though?
No, not that I know of. Just
Okay.
I shouldn't say that because the hoods they wrapped in brown paper and taped it with the brown tape they used, and the light fixtures, the neon lighting, was packed in Allied boxes.
Yeah, the moving stuff.
Yeah. We're still unpacking. We didn't unpack like everything.
All right.
We've been trying to see what's missing and what's not because.
So at some point you find out the boxes are missing. How did you find out?
Well, no, stuff has been missing around my house, and I thought I was losing it, Where's this at? Where's this at? I went to go get stuff, and I'm like,
What are some examples?
Well, my very expensive tequila. I had tequila in tequila boxes, and then I had a box of, I don't drink, so you got to excuse me. It's like crystal head Bacas. They come in custom design things. I had a case of them as a going away gift someone gave me. Haven't found them anywhere. And my $300, $400 bottle of tequilas that are over like 50, 100 years old, can't find them anywhere. And they were in the back room. And we were setting up our bar because we purchased a bar in Fort Myers, and we were putting the stuff, and I'm like, where's this? Where's this? And just the stupidest stuff was missing, like my Ryobi tools. And my husband's like, oh, you'll find it. We're not done unpacking. It's here somewhere. And we just left it at that, you know. And my brother, I told him about, you know, we were going to, I was going to sell the NASCAR collection if I wasn't going to put in my restaurant bar, because I was kind of not hopeful that I was going to open my restaurant, because yes, it was bad. I was scared we weren't going to get a building or the financing for a building.
Right.
So I was kind of like, oh, and Ed collects, he lives in Arcadia, collects NASCAR stuff too.
And what's Ed's last name?
I do not know.
And okay.
But I know where he lives, so.
Okay.
I've known him forever, isn't that awful? I know his son's on an engineering company, that's all I know.
Go on. Why is Ed significant?
Because if I didn't put the NASCAR stuff, if I didn't get the restaurant, I would be stuck with all this NASCAR stuff.
Okay.
And hence, so they knew I had a large collection of NASCAR. It covered my office, you know, half my garage, 3 rows of boxes. That's a lot of memorabilia. I mean, It's just not of different stuff.
Mm-hmm. And, well, I already asked about making sure everything was in the boxes. So you got, did you get all your stuff back? Or was some missing, like the tequila or, you know, other things?
No, I didn't get any of the tequila back. I didn't get any of the major stuff was the NASCAR, and I didn't even get that back. I got boxes of Matchbox that weren't what they were. They had water, they had tile dust on them. I mean, I wish I would have brought the boxes in, because it's just a bad memory when I walk out my garage.
All right.
But I told the officers that I can't say what's mine and what's not mine, you know. I could only tell you that Dom gave me boxes that were perfect, with perfect NASCARs in it, because it was like he was a perfectionist. I mean, this was his pride and joy, and I destroyed his collection literally because they got stolen, and I feel somewhat bad that this guy collected for so long, and I have nothing to show him or show him for it, you know.
If you were shown photographs of the NASCAR memorabilia returned to you or even recovered through future investigation, would you be able to testify about whether it's yours or not yours?
The ones in the display case, yes. My display cases were stolen. That we took the cars out of the display case during moving, and we put them back in the proper boxes.
Okay. Describe those items for me.
Oh, there's so many. I mean,
I'm not sure I have all the pictures, so I don't know. What was in them?
The display boxes?
Yes.
They were die-cast cars about this big.
All right, you put your hands about a foot away from one another there.
Yeah, they're like,
That's all right.
You could pick it up, I mean, and they're cute, you know, but he had them in display cases. I think there was like 3 or 5 display cases, and I only have 1 display case left, and it's in my garage, right where those boxes are.
Okay.
The only one that could truly identify what like each car was or know what he has, probably Don Carty. He knew everything he had from A to Z.
I see.
But
his email to you was written on August 9th. Have you talked to him otherwise about this case then?
Nope. I told him that he might have a contact from my state's attorney because I talked to her after I talked to you.
Okay. Did the die-cast cars, were they addressed to Dom? Did they have any writing about it?
They had autographs on some of them.
Okay. Did it say who the autographs were to? To Dom with love, something?
I don't know.
Okay. Any, I could phrase it better. Anything on the die-cast cars and display cases that said it was Dom's? That you can remember?
Yeah, probably. I mean, he had so much stuff, like the jackets were autographed. I mean, they were signed. And I asked him that question, too, when I called him, when the deputies were there.
I don't want
sorry.
I don't want you to speculate. I mean, if you don't know, it's okay.
I don't remember our conversation. Right. I know they were signed. Yeah. Almost all of his stuff, like the jackets were signed, the hats
from the race
signed.
car drivers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You know, normally, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know much about NASCAR.
Okay.
So I couldn't tell you. All I know is I remember some things. Mm-hmm. I remember what was in the display cases because we popped those out and they were sitting like outside the boxes for the longest time.
Okay.
Until we moved them to the back room and put them in the closet. Anything
besides the cars and the die-cast cars in the glass cases that you looked at it and you said, yeah, those were in my garage?
The Matchbox cars. I had a whole bunch of NASCARs that sold probably 2 or 3 Home Depot boxes. And they were in my house, but he only seemed to have half a box.
I see.
And they were pretty dusted, which I did tell the officers.
Okay.
With tile dust.
So you noticed Matchbox cars, and that you remember those being in your garage before December?
Yeah, we opened them up. Yeah.
Okay.
Because we were laughing. They were all laughing at me like, "What are you doing with these?" You know. And I'm like, well.
Were any of them autographed?
I had Kodak was autographed. I do know that because I had it hanging in my game room in Dania Beach. Mm-hmm. And there was a red one with yellow letters. There was a pink one that wasn't autographed, but I had the big one and the small one. Mm-hmm. And I had another small one, which was really cute, and they were hard to find because we were talking about it. Honestly, I had... You
don't remember the specific autographs? Okay.
So I just know he had a lot signed. He went to he knew the drivers.
All right. Now the tequila growing legs, when did that happen? When did that disappear?
I noticed that when I moved the bar in,
what month?
To our house. I don't recall. I don't know.
Spring, fall?
I don't know. I would have to look.
You mentioned some mirrors also that had
they had
walked away. Mm-hmm. When would that have happened, roughly?
They were wrapped in brown paper, and the last time it had to be after the water heater busted because the paper got wet, and they were round mirrors with the driver on it and then the car on it.
Okay.
And there was a couple square mirrors. It was all NASCAR memorabilia. Okay. I know what it looks like if I see it,
right.
Because we had to take off the paper on it, and it was just laying by the boxes in the closet, by the display cases. So it wasn't like,
I think I asked the water heater breaking. Roughly when was that? I'm just trying to make a timeline.
I don't recall. I mean,
okay.
I just know it was not too long after we bought the house.
Did anything else start to disappear in unusual? Yeah, well, of course it's unusual. Did anything else disappear out of nowhere?
I have so much stuff in my house during the moving and unpacking and everything. Mm-hmm. And I even thought maybe, honestly, I misplaced the stuff. So after, I went through all the stuff, and the stuff I had is no longer there.
Okay.
Like when I was going through the Allied slips, I mean, it's like...
Yes, you came to realize these items were gone, and obviously we learn they're gone, but we don't always know when they became gone.
Me and my husband weren't at the house.
Okay. Tell me about that.
We lived in Dania because I was still working. My husband traveled. It wasn't like we were there all the time. We had contractors in. We had some House Bristol working on our floor, which he was there all the time. We had this Vichy guy do our bathroom. I mean, and I gave these people, these contractors had keys to the house.
How many contractors, roughly?
The Suncoast guy had 4 people. Hal had 1. Beachy had 1. The cabinet guy, about 6.
Okay.
5 or 6.
And how often were they coming by the house?
The tile guy should have been there because we laid tile from the front door all the way to the back rooms. The whole house was tiled. So that tile job took him almost forever. It seems like it had to be over 2.5 months.
Okay. Were they there every day?
I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't have cameras. I can't tell you, you know.
I see.
So I just know there's a lot of tile dust on all my stuff, on all my moving boxes, because if I grabbed a moving box, I had tile dust on me.
Okay. And over how long a period were contractors coming in and out of the house?
When one stopped, another one came in.
Several months?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
at least once a week?
I don't know. Like I said, we weren't there, so we don't know their time schedule.
Okay.
I just know they lay tile from point A to point Z.
Okay.
Know. I wasn't, you know, lashing the whip saying, get this done, get this done. We weren't there, so.
Well, sometimes they take longer than
they
want.
We showed up on the weekend, or we would skip a week because we were going back and forth to Ohio. That's where our stepdaughter lives.
Okay.
So it wasn't like we were there 24/7, you know. So I couldn't tell you. I trusted people, you know. I gave my neighbor the key to my house.
Okay.
Hal Bristol. I tried looking or finding him, and I couldn't. I don't have any contact information for him. And the phone number I did have for him, he's not responding.
Driscoll, forgive me, who was Driscoll again?
He was another tile guy, too, that came in.
Oh, all right.
I mean...
Have any of the contractors reached out to you, or did they try to help you find these items?
I haven't. I just tried contacting Hal Bristol, and then the neighbor across the street that was referred to by a neighbor came in, did the job. I paid him, and I haven't really seen him because, you know, of all the chaos and stuff. And Suncoast, they came, they did their job, and they left. I mean, I didn't question. I mean,
all right.
The only one I tried to get into or the in contact with were the people that did it. Like, for example, Hal Bristol, he spent the majority, he laid all the floor tiles, and that took a long time. I mean, it's 3,200 square feet plus a tile he laid.
Okay.
And he saw the boxes, he saw the stuff because he even laughed at me for collecting NASCAR stuff and the hoods, and I had a big pool light. I mean,
were contractors doing work in the garage?
They were cutting tile in the garage.
Oh, okay. So, wow, even the garage was getting tiled. It must be a nice garage. A lot of times they put the concrete floor, you know.
Well, it's not tiled in the garage. We have the terrazzo, but they were cutting the tile in the garage.
Oh, I understand.
That's where he put up his machine.
Right, okay.
So,
all right.
Which made a disaster out of the garage.
I imagine.
In the house.
Did you provide a list to law enforcement of the items that were originally lost?
I told them the boxes that were missing. I didn't get them a detailed list. I told them, you know, the clocks were missing, the mirrors were missing, the die-cast cars that were in the display cases were missing, the cases themselves were missing when we went in the closet. I don't go to that side of the house. I don't go. Like I said, the officer, I said, you could come in my house and look. And we opened up the office door, and he was like this. And I said, we're still unpacking. This is, you know. And I said I had all the NASCAR stuff in the back room. You know, so, I mean, it's.
All right. And, I may have already asked this. Yeah, I was going to ask, are the items lost the same as the items you received from law enforcement? But no, you got a lot of stuff that you don't know whose it is.
No, we left the stuff at the sheriff's office that we didn't recognize.
That you didn't recognize, yeah, and it was left with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing that, honestly, the clock Dom gave me, that was the last piece he gave me, was that clock he had on the his desk, and he's like, here, this is going to go to a good home anyway. And I told him about Ed. I said, if you don't come back, I'm going to give you 5 years. That's how we made that arrangement. I said, I'm going to give you, because people are really emotional on the stuff they collect, you know. And I didn't realize that until I started collecting myself on how emotional people get.
Mm-hmm.
And each box he was helping load up in the car, it was like, and it broke my heart, and I didn't want to take it out. I'm like, are you sure you want me to take this? And he just kept, yeah, and for each piece he gave me, for every box he gave me, he had a story. And I was just emotional over this old man telling me the history behind everything, because me, I either buy or sell it, or I'm collecting it for something in the future. You know, it's not like, it was just so overwhelming. And he's like, I wouldn't have to get rid of it if I didn't have to have this medical, this and that. And I said, listen, this collection is that valuable to you. I said, I'm going to hold on to it for 5 years. I might use it in my restaurant, because, and I told him I was opening a restaurant, and he offered to help me and all this good stuff. And he said, give me a call when you open up, and I'll come help you set it up, because he and a friend used to do some kind of New York deli. And we talked for hours. It just wasn't 1 or 2 hours. I mean, it took almost 2 or 3 trips to get all the NASCAR stuff, and I have an SUV.
And that's from Dom, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when Christopher Wallet says that they were from private sellers and they did not accept cards or checks, who are the multiple sellers?
Oh, we bought NASCAR stuff from it's called NASCAR Cage Bar. I think they're located in Hollywood. The owner lives in Coral Springs. That's where I bought the big mirrors from, and the neon lightings that disappeared. You know, I bought a lot of stuff for my restaurant. You know,
okay.
It just wasn't.
And did they provide you with a bill of sale? Was anything on paper for these sales?
Just via email and offer up. Yeah, it wasn't like.
I mean, I know they were for cash, but a lot of times there's title, there's something that somebody fills out.
No, this is collectible stuff. It's like I just bought a Raggedy Ann doll collection, and I bought it off eBay. And then he was like, well, you're buying this whole collection. And I'm like, yes. And the only bill of sale I got is if I purchase it off eBay. He doesn't send you a bill, like, you know, with the dolls when they send it to you in a package, like, thank you. And then when you go pick up stuff, like I picked up a Raggedy Ann doll in Fort Myers for $150. And he wanted like $500 for it. And I'm like, well, will you take this amount? And he says, yes. And you ask him, can I have a bill of sale? He thought I was crazy, because I've been doing that to everything I purchased now.
Right.
And he's like, nope. And he didn't sell me the dolls. I was like, you know, I'm like, okay, I need and that's what I've been doing lately. Everything I buy, I'm now documenting receipts, asking for, or I'm signing this paper, hey, you sold me this. Like, I just bought Franciscan dishes for my restaurant from someone in Northport that the Catholic Charities sent me to buy dishes. I'm like, I need a receipt. I said, can you, and I'm getting receipts now.
I understand, Michelle. I was just asking about the time of the incident.
So
I understand, though.
All I know is I told him in 5 years, I said, I'll give you 5 years. If you want it back, you know, it's yours. He was very emotionally attached. I've never seen anyone emotionally attached to something other than a person. You know, he went out of his way. He told me stories of, like, he was showing me the cars, every car in the display case, every car in the box, while he was putting it in boxes, you know.
Okay. Well, if necessary, we'll speak to Don and figure that out. So since the merchandise was returned to you, have you been able to look at all of it?
I haven't even touched the boxes.
Okay.
The boxes are in this, we put them in the back of the Jeep, and we put them right at the edge of the garage, and I haven't even opened up the boxes.
Okay. And before this deposition, did you have any opportunity to review police reports in the case?
No.
Have you reviewed the audio statements in the case?
No.
I was going to ask about photographs, but they did show you a few photographs. I heard it in the recording, you know, of the boxes and a few items here and there.
The boxes I described to the officers.
Okay.
And the items that I described to the officers they found. I only remember, and I know this sounds crazy, but when Don was talking to me, his collection out of all the NASCAR stuff, like I could care less about the neon lights, I could care less about the pool cars that I had to go over pool tables. It's like a NASCAR car. Dom's collection became sentimental to me. When someone is telling you a story and he's using hand and he's crying and it's emotion, it's like that was part of his life. He didn't miss any race, races. He went to all the races. He said he couldn't anymore because they're really expensive and he's sick. And just his passion about it,
Okay.
For every car.
Other than the die-cast cars and the display cases, were there other items that you'd be able to testify, yes, those were in my garage?
Yeah, because I had a game room.
Okay.
Okay. And I put like the Kodak card that I had.
Oh, the Matchbox cars. Sorry, you already said that. Okay. Anything else that I haven't asked about that you could say, yeah, that's mine, or that was in my garage?
I had a poster. I had a couple posters with autographs on, but I don't remember. There was no to who.
Okay.
It had autographs of the person that was standing in the, the pictures or the posters. I had. They were all in front of these boxes.
What kind of posters?
Of the NASCAR drivers.
Do you remember who they are?
No, I don't. I just.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Like, I'm not a NASCAR person. I collect all this stuff.
There's no wrong answers, even though it might feel otherwise. But
I just,
but there are.
This is my deterrence here. Yes, it's 100% my fault. Okay, I let people into my house that I really didn't know because I'm new to this area. Second off, the Paul Arplin boxes, I want to know where he got them. There's only 2 places you could get those boxes, okay? And I don't think, any of these people are from the place where this company is manufactured or the guy that previously owned Don's collection came from, or he was storing them for Don.
So you said you kept your door, like the contractors had keys. Other than the contractors, would the doors be kept locked?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have keys to the house? I mean, well, you, your husband.
We don't even have, we have the digital, so we go in digitally.
Really? Oh, it's got like a keypad to get in?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I mean, and now since this has happened, I went and got an excessive number of Ring cameras, to watch my house. I moved here because it's one of the safest places to move.
Did you have an alarm system or camera system before realizing these items were gone?
No.
Okay.
I do now, though.
I should use the table. It's a little easier. Okay. As far as you know, between August and December 2017, was anybody over at the house that you know of? I better rephrase that. Between August and December of last year, was there anybody over that shouldn't have been there?
I don't know who the contractors invited over or not. I can't tell you. I wasn't there. Me and my husband were not there.
Okay.
When we were there, I had the one contractor, Hal. He had his little boy there. When we showed up, we surprised him, and he wasn't expecting us. And we opened up, and he had his kid there. And then we surprised him again, and he had, I think, his ex-wife or girlfriend there. I mean, and I was kind of, and we put an end to that when I realized that.
And prior to this incident, had your house ever been broken into that you know of?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, I wish this had printed out in color. This was a photo that I disclosed a couple weeks ago, but now it's in black and white, so it may not be the best. Did any of the items you got back include Coke bottles?
Not in boxes, but I did have Coke bottles, yes.
Okay.
And I have them in my game room, and he gave me all the NASCAR stuff. Yeah, we purchased a whole bunch of Coke bottles, but they were the Coke bottles that, we got back, I don't know if I left them there. I think I might have left them there. I don't know. I didn't open the boxes.
How many did you get back?
I don't know if I got any back because
okay.
they were rusted on the thing. And I'm like, the Coke bottles I had were in mint. They were folded. They were wrapped. And they were perfect NASCAR bottles. And whoever, you know, had that collection looked like they had it out in the rain.
You can see the side of a clock here, barely. What did the clock look like?
It was a square wooden clock with someone that died on it.
Oh, it was a square clock. Okay. Any round clocks that you saw?
Yep. I had 3 round clocks.
Okay. And did you get any of the round clocks back?
No.
Okay. So there are some items you just never saw again. Let's see. That you do remember being in the house. So those might have walked away at some point too then.
I did tell the officer that me and my husband both stated that, you know, this isn't, some of this stuff isn't ours, some of this stuff looks like ours, you know.
Okay.
I was kind of really upset. I was more upset when I walked into the sheriff's office seeing my boxes, you know.
About how much of, oof, I better sit on that one, I'm not going to ask it correctly. Okay. I'll come back to it.
You mean how much stuff am I missing?
No, I need to ask you, right, it's like you lose certain items, you get certain items back, but even the items that come back are not, may not even belong, you know, you don't know whose they are.
No,
so it's complicated, I understand.
The miniature cars that came back in the Home Depot, they were in the same box that were in my garage with the same exact, you know, taping and the markings on the box. I mean, it was a Home Depot box that we put them in the game room when we left Dania Beach.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I know you could get Home Depot boxes everywhere, but they're not taped. No one tapes them exactly the same every box, you know. That's my conception.
All right.
There was a lot more stuff in the stuff that they confiscated that weren't recognizable to me. Like I told you, semis, I never saw semis, so I couldn't tell you if those were mine or not mine, or so.
All right. Let's see. Okay, now there were some photos in Discovery in the original, just when the case began, and I think you may have looked at some already.
The last time I looked at these pictures were in the sheriff's office.
This was a photograph. Forgot which page number this was. It appears to show a box and some duct tubing of some kind, a metallic tube, a dolly, and an orange extension cord.
That's part of the garage.
Okay, this is part of the garage? All right. That's your garage? I see. When was that photo taken?
When the deputies came to the house.
I see. When did they come to the house?
I don't recall the date. I just know they came there, and it was a lot of cars, and it disrupted my neighborhood.
Okay.
The gossip went rampant. But that's just one of the boxes that had that tape on. There was a whole room full of them.
The items that went missing, you know, before getting anything back, you know, regardless of whose it is, how much do you think the stuff that Dom gave you was worth total?
I'm not a NASCAR. I know nothing about NASCAR.
Okay.
I can't tell you. I can do two things. I could go to the bookstore, or I could Google how much is this worth, how much is that worth, or I could say, hey Dom, how much is that worth? It's only worth what a person will pay.
Okay. You would be speculating as to its exact value.
Yeah, I wouldn't. The hint was in the very beginning, I wasn't buying this to resell. Dom knew that. Chris knew that. Again, I was purchasing it as a collection, and I do collect a lot of stuff.
Okay.
And now I take pictures of all my collections after this incident. Was to open a restaurant in some town.
Right. Now, can a collector find these items on eBay?
they're very, very, very hard to find specific ones Dawn had.
Okay.
But yeah, you could probably purchase them anywhere. I mean, but you can't buy the pink ladybug. Dawn was telling me you can't buy Dale Earnhardt stuff.
Oh.
That's number one. Each car has a specific number. You know, when he went to a race, he would get a card, get an autograph ticket, get an autograph magazine from the NASCAR thing. He was telling me. So,
oh yeah, I don't know if I had asked that. Where did Dom get these items?
He collected them, and he had them stored. The Opulent boxes came from a gentleman that was storing the cars for him.
Yes, but
So,
the merchandise itself, where did Dom pick those cars and...
the races, he was a huge collector. His house, when you walk in the door, it was
Mhm.
nothing but NASCAR. When I left his house,
Okay.
there was nothing left. Like I said.
So he would have picked them up at races?
Mhm.
Okay. Does he work for NASCAR? Does he have any special access?
He knew the drivers.
Personally?
I mean, yeah. He was right there in the pits, he was telling me in some of his stories. I mean, he was hand in hand with the people. So, I mean,
I forgot if I asked, what did he do for a living?
I have no idea. All I know is he said in our conversation he would help me out with my restaurant. He would come down whenever he wanted, and I just, honestly, I'm lucky I found his number because I didn't have any information or anything from him.
Did you tell the officers about Dom?
We were right there. I said, hold on, and I went through, and I looked, and it said NASCAR guy on it.
Okay.
And I'm like, what the? And I just got a new phone, and it downloaded from my Google account because, you know, Google and the sales flyers connect to each other, which I didn't know. So NASCAR guy showed up, and we called him right there with the officers, and the officers were there for a while before. I'm like, I got to have his number someplace. I got to have pictures someplace. And I was looking for pictures. I was looking for this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't realize until after the fact that, oh, I should have did this. I should have did this. I should have did this.
All right.
You know.
And, well, I know I've already asked these. Do any of the items you got back have anything that says these are Dom's? We've talked about how boxes look and how tape looks.
Well, the Matchbox cars that are in the Home Depot box, I know those are mine because they were open in my game room, and everyone that walked into my house and walked into my game room always saw them because the box is always open.
Okay, we've talked about the boxes. Is there like a name, an address, identifying information for Dom on these items?
There's numbers on the boxes that Allied put on that, you know, all my boxes have some kind of marking on it or numbers on it. And I didn't call Allied to find out what they were. All I know is they gave me sheets of paper, box 1, box 2, box 3, box 3, and then NASCAR crap, and then, you know, just moving stuff. So, I mean, I didn't say, hey, Dom, are these yours, you know?
Right, right. No, I understand.
So, we don't talk about stuff like that. It's, you know, I could just tell you what me and my husband, our boxes, the tile dust,
and the Allied stuff was just, that was moving stuff in there, though, right?
It was collectible stuff in there that we just never undid.
Okay, so the Allied boxes do contain merchandise?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you had said it was for that was from the moving company and that it contained moving stuff.
Well, it does. My collection came with me when I moved.
I understand. Okay. There was mention of a Dale Earnhardt book with a message to your father.
Yes.
Where is it?
We have no idea. And I tore apart the room.
Okay.
It said to Dad. It wasn't to my father. It said to Dad.
Okay. So it doesn't name anyone as a recipient?
No.
Okay. All right.
And that book is really old.
Were the items ever unboxed and reboxed at some point?
Dawn's stuff was never unboxed or reboxed. We opened up the boxes to see if there was any water damage in the boxes that were along the sidewall because the water heater's in the very, like, there's a door and then there's a water heater and then the boxes were on this side of the wall where the water heater was.
Mm-hmm.
So we never unpacked the boxes because, oh, it's collectible. We're going to be moving them anyway when we purchase a restaurant or something. That's what we were thinking in our head.
Okay.
You know, we were thinking there's this place called Waffle. It's in Hollywood where he has on the back of his benches and tables, he has all the cars and display cases. And
do you know how long, well, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we're getting a field. How long did Dom ever tell you how long he had these items?
yeah, he's been collecting them forever, he said.
All right.
Forever. I mean, he's a big NASCAR guy.
All right.
He had so many stories to tell about the drivers, this and that. He gave me jackets with autographs on it. And I was thinking about that. I don't remember it ever saying to Dom, but it was their autograph on it, like Oreo cookie. He gave me M&M. He gave me Kodak. He gave me hats with all the drivers' signatures on it.
All right. Now this is the square clock in Discovery.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The one is that the one you were referring to earlier?
That was the last piece he gave me.
Why did they make you hold it like this?
I have no idea, but I looked like, oh my God. And that's a picture.
They just asked you to hold it?
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Did you hold the clock up and say, this is mine?
I did say, this looks like the clock Dom gave me, yes.
Okay. And how did you know it was like the clock Dom gave you?
Because it was at top of a box, and it wasn't in a box. It's been at top of the box, like I told you, I had mirrors and clocks, and they were stacked up.
Okay.
With the pool table lighting and the hoods and stuff.
Was there any other item on top of Dom's boxes that you were able to see between August and December of last year?
Stackable, the mirrors. It was all race car, NASCAR stuff. He had perfect die cast. I had the display cases in the back room, which I should have known they were missing, totally gone.
Those were kept out of the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
All right, and we touched on those. Okay.
They have the die cast cars in it.
And were the Matchbox cars kept outside the box, or?
No, they were in the Home Depot box.
Okay.
And the lid was squished in, so it was like kind of folded in.
Okay. How did you see those?
You mean, what do you mean? How
the Matchbox cars. You didn't go in the boxes. You said you didn't go
No,
in the
it was
boxes.
squished in. It was like, you know how a box is square and then it has four sides?
Oh,
it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
the four sides were inside the box all the time.
Oh, yeah.
There was other stuff in it. We threw, like I said, we threw stuff in up top of it.
Mm-hmm.
That went with it. I mean, it wasn't just like, you know, when you push something to the back room and you just start.
Right. Okay.
It wasn't like I organized it or I alphabetized it. I said I had this, I had this, I had that.
Okay. So let me now we've covered the basics. Let me bring you up to speed a bit. He is charged with dealing in stolen property. That charge carries a possible sentence of up to 15 years in prison. The police performed a sting operation, arrested him, asked him about these items, and they believed that some of the values may not have been accurate. They spoke to you about the items that were found from him, and based on that, they did arrest him. That's why he has a case pending at the moment. You know, the police eventually arrested him. And you know, I'm not getting into the weight of the state's case right now, or you know, my opinions about it, or where it should go. That's not, you know, it wouldn't be appropriate for me to say. But you know, but the state filed a charge. That's why he has a case. The police usually initiate the process by doing an arrest. But you did tell me, the reason I'm bringing all this up is that you told me on the phone briefly that you thought the case was somehow going away. No, I didn't say going away. I said I thought the case was dropped when we left. We left the stuff. You know, he's like, take what's yours? Mm-hmm. And we were like, this isn't ours, this isn't ours. We didn't get back all the stuff. We didn't hear anything. We didn't hear anything from the sheriff's office. We didn't hear anything from you. I didn't hear anything from her. I mean, I got nothing. As the alleged victim, you understand I'm in a very awkward position. I can't say very much to you because I don't want the state to get the slightest indication that I would be tampering or even interfering with the case.
I was expecting, I didn't hear anything, and I didn't receive any letters in the mail. I didn't receive a phone call. Like I was expecting a phone call.
Well, again, we left it as, if you don't hear from me, it's still on, and we weren't able to reschedule
so, I mean,
it.
like I said, I assumed that it was done, and honestly.
Why did you think the case was being dismissed?
Because they said they didn't have enough. The sheriff's deputy, when we left the office, because me and my husband were trying to interrogate the officer, and he's like, he couldn't give any information.
Okay.
I wanted to know where he got my boxes from. Where did he get these boxes with tile, the water damage, the things? That's, where did he get that from? And they couldn't answer us.
And they never asked you how the boxes could have ended up in Wesley Beachy's hands, did they?
From what? No, I mean, he had it in his garage, supposedly. That's all we got, and he couldn't come up with where he got the boxes from. That's what he said. He couldn't come up with, and I wanted to know because, I'm to the point where this is invasion of privacy. He's posting stuff on Facebook with my picture. My picture shouldn't be on Facebook, okay? Second off, for someone to come in my house and have the same boxes I do, that's like 1 in a million to do the tape and everything. I felt like when I saw those boxes and then I flipped them over, it had my tile dust on it from the water. I felt like I let these people into my house, okay, and they abused their power, okay? And how many keys were made after that? I mean, they could have went through everything I had, I mean, it angers me. I want to know where she got those boxes from. I want to know the process, because I'm doing something wrong if I let these contractors in my house and they abuse me.
I understand. You're angry about these contractors not telling you who's at the house.
I'm mad at myself for not unpacking all my stuff. I'm mad for not doing inventory. But worst off, someone just steals someone else's stuff. Okay, I haven't sold anyone from anything. I treat people the way I want to be treated, and for someone to do that to me, yeah, that angers me. That disgusts me. I feel violated. Why? And now I'm being even more violated because I've never been hated in my life. Me and my husband don't have any enemies. No one really knows where we live except for my friends in Hollywood and Miami, South Dakota, New York, and Ohio. I mean, it's...
Why did the deputy tell you the case was going to be dismissed?
Well, he didn't say it was going to be dismissed. He said I would be hearing from the state's attorney. If I don't... Oh,
okay.
Yeah. So,
well, that's a true statement, because it's always up to the state whether to file
or not file. Like I told you, I assumed.
Oh, because you didn't hear from them, you figure it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, now I understand. Thank you. Okay.
Like,
that's
the
all I want to know.
officer told me and my husband that I was protected. I would have some kind of protection because I didn't want my address to be shown on any of the paperwork. I didn't want him to know, but my husband's like, he already knew where I lived, And I wanted privacy, and he was like, I would have some protection. Come to find out, I don't have any protection.
Now, the case is a few months old, but it is moving closer to a trial. What do you want to happen in this? What do you want to happen to Wesley Beachy?
I don't want anything to happen. I just want, and me and my husband were talking about this, I can't get back what I've already lost, okay? If I could get back what I already lost, I would have it in my hands right now, okay? I'm about to open a restaurant. I have no stuff to decorate my restaurant with, and I didn't just spend $600 on just Dom if he says I spent $600, because I spent so much money, I don't even remember what I spent, and that's what I told the officers. Money's not the issue. The issue I'm having, that's why I couldn't fill out this, because money-wise, there is no monetary value on this,
Was that when did you receive that letter? Was that most recently?
Yeah, like 3 days after.
It's all right. No, you can.
3 days after I talked to you.
Okay, so because I was looking at our file, and it looked like we had sent you something initially, but then when we spoke, and you indicated to me we didn't. That's when we sent it.
And I called you because this was taped to my door. That's when I called you.
Oh, that was me.
That's when I called you.
Yeah. So that was a victim impact statement, right?
Correct.
Okay.
This is what I want. And, I've been violated, and I'm sorry you know, my sister and my whole family think, you know, I should prosecute because they all seen the stuff in my garage. They've seen my moving boxes. And they say if you don't stop a criminal, they're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. I wouldn't know that. I'm not a criminal. All I know is I believe the benefit of the doubt of people. But right now, I'm scared. Flat tire. Keys on my car. Porch. My screens are slashed open. I can't prove it's whoever, but me and my husband don't have enemies. We treat people with the most utter respect. We treat people the way we want to be treated. All our neighbors love us except for the one across the street. I mean, I don't have enemies. And I'm scared to walk my dog at my own house. I'm scared to come out of my house when I'm there. I haven't opened my windows. I have screen things since all this happened. And it seems since this has happened, this is when all my life became chaotic. And I don't like chaos in my life. I like simplicity in my life. I like to get up, walk my dog, have fun with my dog, go to the beach, go to the dog park, go to work. Yes. Now I'm looking over my shoulder all the time. And now my picture's being posted on Facebook.
Is your profile public or private? What are your privacy settings?
I don't know. I don't go, like, I'm not.
Do you use Facebook a lot?
No.
Okay.
Things pop up when.
All right.
I think the last time I was on it, probably April.
All right.
But things pop off on my Android because my Android takes whatever that I'm doing. And
push notifications, they call them. They go boop. Yeah.
I want to know where these boxes came from. I want to know how he got possession of these boxes, because my garbage man always asks me, hey, it's the same garbage guy that drives through my thing, and he'll laugh at me, and he came to help me move stuff out of my garage during the moving process. So he knows what my boxes look like. I was even going to have him sign an affidavit and do one on the boxes.
Okay.
I just want to know where they came from. How did he get in possession of them? I don't want, if that stuff is that important to him, it's worth more to him than me, because I can't do anything with and I'm not, like I said, I don't know anything about NASCARs, but the stuff I have that I did get back that looked exactly like my box in my garage, the Home Depot, the only thing that's different with the Home Depot box, it was closed. Mine was pushed in, and you could see the crevices where it was pushed in. You know, you could see the tile marks, you could see the water marks on the boxes. I want to know how he acquired them, if he did acquire them, and where.
Well, I didn't get to ask you, what is the yellow thing on the box with the dollar? What is that?
That's another layer of tape on that.
Okay.
It was the mark. We marked them on what room to be moved into at the very end.
Oh.
So that was being moved in the corner room of the house.
I can't see any of your writing on it.
So that's Paris stuff.
Okay.
European stuff is in that.
I see. Is any of your handwriting on the boxes?
No, the moving guy's handwriting is on the boxes, and I can't say that because, yes, we did write on the boxes. So I can't say yes or no, but I did write on some of the boxes.
Would you be able to tell us which box you wrote on and what you wrote?
Maybe.
I don't have it with me because we're not in the evidence locker.
I have a lot of boxes.
Any help, you know.
We were trying to match all the boxes to where they were going in the room.
Right, okay.
So
I understand. But you remember writing on the boxes?
Yes, there was writing on the boxes.
Right.
There was numbers and letters, and it had rooms on it.
Now, as the case has moved along, we disclosed some sworn statements. There are people that gave me letters claiming that they know Mr. Beachy, that he's an avid NASCAR collector, that he's been doing it for several years, and that it includes multiple scales of the number 3 Dale Earnhardt cars, semi-trucks, a hood, leather jacket, hats, t-shirts, keychains. Well, this is from.
I have pictures of the hoods.
Okay, so you would dispute this statement.
Well, I have pictures of the hoods that disappeared.
All right. There's another sworn statement from one Wendy Mast. It's all right.
Interrupt briefly.
Yes.
You're saying you have pictures of the hoods, but obviously without seeing what hoods, if he possesses, Mr. Beachy possesses any hoods, you wouldn't know if they were the same ones that you had bought, and obviously not having seen what he has.
And
I didn't see any hoods. I didn't see any die-cast cars. I just saw the little miniature cars because I opened up 2 of them. I had doubles and triples. I bought them from Walmart when they were going on clearance.
How'd you know there were hoods in the boxes? Where were the hoods? Sorry.
I didn't know there was hoods. I have hoods.
Well, you had, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were in front of the boxes at my house.
All right. Were there any cardboard cutouts?
Yes.
That you know of?
They were posters. I had square posters. I had actually the guy standing of Dale Earnhardt that had his autograph on it.
Okay.
And that I did get from Dom, the autograph.
So there is a possibility that between 2 and 9 people will claim that he has collected at least similar items for several years. Is it possible that the items you have that you remember being in your garage are different than the items from Wesley Beachy on the day of that sting? I better rephrase it. Is it possible that the items that the police say Wesley stole are really his?
Well, the wooden clock, first off, Dom had that on his desk. That was the last piece he gave me, and he wasn't going to give it to me. Second off, how do you have the same boxes I do with the same tape on it I do? Second off, how do you have waterlog on the bottom of the boxes with tile dust on it?
And I want to clarify too, because we talked about this a lot. I get, my understanding is the boxes are the same. So let's say that the boxes are exactly the same. They're yours, in fact. Can you say that the contents inside,
like I told the officer,
contents inside?
Like I told the officer when they opened up the boxes, Don was meticulous with his stuff. Like the boxes had no creases in it. They were perfectly put in. They perfectly were put in. The boxes, when I opened them up, the last time I seen them, they were perfect. I opened them up thinking, you know, they got water damage, and I flipped them over, and the boxes, you know, and we put towels, white towels underneath, and they were sitting on white towels for almost 2-3 weeks. And when you opened up the boxes, they were beautiful inside. I mean, it looked like they were neatly packed, like in order. When I went to the sheriff's office, yeah, they looked like my boxes. The only one that, quote unquote, I could say, me and my husband both agreed, were probably the Home Depot box with all the stuff thrown into it, which you can't organize those because they layer up top of each other. But the other boxes, we were even saying, they weren't neatly organized. It was like, it was shuffled through, not once, not twice, a lot.
Okay.
And it looked like whoever had this didn't take care of the stuff, like he didn't even care. You know, the stuff I had was in prim and prime condition, in mint condition.
So these were when you saw these items,
that,
they were in a different condition than when you last saw them, right?
My opinion again, it looked like someone just left them outside that they didn't give two about. It looked like someone threw them in the back of a truck, left them there, forgot they were in there. The heat and the sun probably got to them. I mean.
All right. Those are all the questions I have. Does the state have any questions?
Some of the items you said when you went to the sheriff's office, they were not yours.
Correct.
And you had left them there. Were those items in boxes that you believe to have been yours?
Yes.
Okay, so when you went to the sheriff's office, there were what you believed they were your boxes from your garage because of the water stain, the dust, and the tape.
The tile dust, yes.
Identifying markers.
It was my tile dust color.
So there were boxes that matched that description at the evidence locker or wherever you went to, but the contents that were inside did not belong to you.
No,
but you couldn't say.
Some of the stuff was not mine, no.
Okay. There was 3 boxes that the law enforcement ended up letting you take back with you that day, or you took with you?
Yeah, he let us.
There were 3 boxes? Okay. The contents of those boxes, were you able to say, and I assume yes because they let you take them, that all of those items.
Well, I had pictures of the matchbox that I took out, which we bought, like I was telling the officer, we bought at Walmart and Target. They went on clearance, and they were the NASCAR, and I had 2s and 3s because I bought a lot of them. And
those are things that were sold. You mentioned in Walmart or in Target. So I guess those aren't necessarily, or would it be fair to say those aren't necessarily like collector's items?
Correct.
Because you could buy them at these stores.
Correct.
Okay.
But I did have them on my wall in my game room because I pulled them out and put them in, and then I ended up getting a Kodak one that was already in a display case and everything, and part of Dom's stuff, and I did put it up, which he had on some hallway that he's like, here, take this too. You know.
Because I guess what I'm asking then is, you're able to confidently say that those same items that you bought, and I think maybe this is what Mr. McDonald was trying to get to, was, is it possible that Mr. Vici acquired those same types of cars that you had bought like from Walmart and from Target?
He could have.
Albeit in a box that you believe belonged to you because of those identifying markings.
He could have. I mean, the Matchbox cars, yeah, they sell them in every store, so yes, he could have. The cars that I had matching cars to, the die-cast cars that were in display cases, I had the matching ones to go with it. I mean, I got the matching small ones, but I don't have the big car anymore. I mean, it's that kind of.
And those matching cars, the die-cast cars in the display cases, those were contained in one of the boxes you brought back with you?
Yeah, I got one display case back, one, and that's one Dom gave me, but there was no cars inside, there was no, you know.
In the police report I had read that it was a sister of yours that had noticed similar items being sold on either.
It's actually a friend,
okay.
And I contacted my sister, and I asked her, what do I do? And she goes, you need to call the cops because stuff has been missing out of your house.
Okay.
And
in the report it indicated that you had, you were able to identify that yes, in fact, that was your collection because of this book. And I think Mr. McDonald asked you about the book.
Yes.
So when you were looking at, was it a Facebook page or was it a Let Go account, or what were you looking at, do you recall, when you saw that book?
The book, I was in the office.
Yours?
I was in the office, the sheriff's office, when I looked at that book.
Okay.
Okay, so were you looking at the physical book or
Yeah.
a picture of it?
No, the physical book.
And was that in one of those boxes?
That was on the table,
Okay.
I think.
Do you know if that was something that they recovered? So you got that item back?
No. You see, I went home after the sheriff's. No, I did not get the book back. I don't.
Did they tell you how they got the book?
Did you?
No.
Did they? Okay, so I'm just confused now. You were at the sheriff's office and you saw the book that you had identified on a social media network as yours, Dear Dad, or it was signed.
No, oh God, let me see if I still have it. Because I got it sent to me. Hold on. So, I have particular cars in those display cases that not everyone has. They're really rare. The cars are worth a lot of money, and the only reason I know that is because Dom kept telling me, instilling that this car is worth this much, this much, this much, and I add the small ones to it.
Are the cars you're talking about the ones that you were able to identify from a social media
pictures,
post?
Correct. We did it at my house with the officer.
But those cars you didn't get back when you, okay.
I might have got one or two back that were in that, but not, yeah. And he had you know, like I was telling you, the stuff that was taken, these boxes were in prim condition. The only thing that would be damaged is the bottom layer of where the box got watered, but I think we got it in time, you know, but it still wouldn't cause that much damage to the car boxes, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because we toweled it, we put it on, we opened the top, we made sure that everything was perfect. When we went into the sheriff's office, everything looked like it was shuffled. It was, you know,
It wasn't the same. It wasn't in the same condition you had.
Yeah.
Seen it in when Don was packing it up. I think we talked about that.
It's, you know, I didn't take each one out, take a picture of it, and say this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. No, I had it in boxes. I taped it. We reopened it. We taped it. We reopened it again because, you know, they make you check the boxes when they drop off the stuff to you. And blue tape, cut it again. I didn't have any brown tape. I either had blue tape or duct tape. What one are you going to use that's easier to open? I should have used duct tape and wrote my name on it, but that's going. So, you know, the main, you know, look were the moving boxes for me.
Right.
And then tile dust goes with the color of the tile. Tell me how the tile dust on those boxes that the sheriff's deputy, and they saw the boxes, and they saw them stacked up in my office and how I had it separated by rooms that I never go into. My same color tile dust was on the bottom of the box, and the bottom of the boxes were damaged by water.
What color is the tile dust on the boxes?
It's like a beige color. I mean, because of we have their platforms, and it's that wood, and then on the bottom it's like a beige color. And I mean, there was so much. You could do this still in my house today. Go on some of my windowsills because the dust is still settling from the tile, and go like that and still have tile dust. I mean, it's still in my garage. I even showed the officers off the blinds.
And where's your water heater kept?
In the garage.
Oh, I see. All right. Which corner of the garage?
If you're looking at the garage this way, it's in the corner right here on the left-hand side.
Okay, back left corner. And where were the boxes kept in
the garage? They were on this side of the wall. Here's the water heater, and they were lined up on this.
Okay, along the left wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the Dale, and I keep going back to the Dale Earnhardt book because it appears that was something that was signed and it was something that was addressed to your dad. So it's more of an identifying article.
It was to Dad, and I did get that. I got that from, and it was given to my dad, and I've had that for a long time since before I moved out of Arcadia.
So what I'm asking is that that was something that you no longer have, that went missing.
I don't have it.
And you never got it back. Okay, so when you went to the sheriff's office, did you see the book? Because when I asked you, you said it was on the table and you saw it. So that's why I'm confused if you didn't get it back.
That's why I said I don't recall. Okay. I just remember seeing, and then he showed me magazines, and then he asked me about some woman named Vicky. Asked me, did I know a woman named Vicky? I said, yeah, I know a woman named Vicky. She lives in Arcadia. Before I moved to Fort Lauderdale, I lived in Arcadia. And, you know, that was the thing, hence why I'm moving back. But I still wasn't into NASCAR stuff. I could get too about it because I don't know anything about it.
Right.
So, you know, I could just, like I told the officer, and like I'm telling you, I remember what was in the display cases. They were in front of the boxes. The clock was atop of the box. It was like thrown in there. The brown mirrors were in front of the boxes. I mean, I had a room full of stuff. My room, hardly anything was in there, you know, and I would have never known if I didn't go in there, and I don't know how to explain it to you. If you come to my house right now, you'll see my office is full of boxes stacked up. I haven't been in that room since maybe 3 weeks ago when I went to go look for restaurant stuff.
I didn't get to ask you, what's your sister's name?
Janique.
Janique, okay.
The corner room is the European room, Paris. It has all the stuff from Paris in it, you know, the collectible dolls, the Eiffel Towers, pictures, very expensive artwork. The third room was just, we were throwing everything in there that was going to go, like I had beer lights in it, I had the pool lights in it, I had the liquor in it, anything that was going towards the restaurant. You know, the bed was piled up, and the closet had pictures in it. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like...
It's okay. I guess my confusion was just, I know that when you, at least according to the report, when you had looked at these Facebook pictures of things that Mr. Beach has posted, like the photo of the book, the Dale Earnhardt book, is something that stood out to you, at least according to the police report. And that's what I was asking about, if you had ever seen that book again when you went to the sheriff's office. I think I did when I went to the sheriff's office, but I didn't get it back. Okay, and is that because it was because it wasn't yours, or was it because that was something that they were holding on to as evidence, or do you know?
I don't know. I do not know.
Was that the book that you had had all these years that was given to your dad? Were you?
It said to Dad, yes, and it was signed. He just died when he got it. It was a big thing. I remember, and I ended up having it. My mom died, and she had an antique store, and I took it out of her store when she died when we were cleaning it, and I took a couple boxes.
And you remember seeing that?
County, this is Sheriff County COPWATCH. I am using any video here with under fair use if you have criticism, reporting, teaching, etc. And please donate. I do not make money from YouTube, and there are different ways to donate in the video links. Thanks.